we are recording, you gotta make sure we're recording at all times. Weird SpongeBob inconsistencies that matter to me. Curious. This popped up on my recommended, and I'm curious what kind of inconsistency my man is gonna be pointing out.
Being a SpongeBob fan, one of the most critical things we focus on is the consistency of the show. I mean, it's the entire reason why the first 3.5 seasons are so well remembered. So throw all that out the window, I want to talk about the weird minor inconsistencies throughout the show that have bugged me to no end. Let's talk backyards. You probably have one, or have been in one. They're fun, right? Grass, bird baths, lawn mowing, and sheds every day.
Okay, so they're basically how SpongeBob, like in the show, how it showed that they had backyards, but it never really stayed like that.
Dad's dream. Except 124 Con Street seems to constantly flip-flop. SpongeBob's pineapple comes fitted with a garage.
A garage? Okay, you see, I completely forgot about that. I thought all he had was the backyard, because I know I've seen some episodes with a backyard. A garage, though, is wild. Even though he can't drive, why you got a garage? You can't legally drive, dude.
Garage door on the back. But since that maniac doesn't even have a boat, he just stores stuff in there, like a reef blower. The rest of the pineapple is odd as well. Labyrinthine designs are everywhere. So we have the living room, kitchen, bathroom, staircase, bedroom, and library, and a hatch to the small roof. There's also a closet attached to the library. Pretty standard.
The hatch to the roof, I think, has stayed pretty consistent. His room, though, the look of his room has definitely changed. It has been depicted bigger in certain shots. Because that little diving board shit, I'm pretty sure it made the room look and feel bigger.
Standard, right? Well, remember his workout room? How about the attic? The laundry room? The pantry? What about the jellyfish prepping area? The awards closet? Is that the same room where SpongeBob talked to that Krabby Patty Patrick in Gone when he was trying to hide from Bodhi? Hey, wait, what about Bodhi? This isn't the first time he's had a boat of that name. The first time was in No Free Rides. And what about that bathroom? I swear it's been on the first floor multiple times. And what's with these decorations? You don't see me hanging plastic human models on my wall. Well, maybe except for one case. And to top it off, we have the ringer. But maybe it's best we forget that one. I can ramble about SpongeBob's house all day long. Let's move on.
I ain't gonna hold you. I remember that episode too. I hated it. It was kind of, I don't know, just very, very mid.
Patrick's rock. Plain and simple. Just a rock and a cool stick thing on top. Except the interior. Most times it's just a green chair with a bottom.
Oh yeah, okay. Interesting video. Because Patrick, honestly, I really thought it was just the chair with the TV. But then when you're actually underground in there, it's mad spread out. He got different rooms, different sections of the crib. I'm like, dude, but this is what it's supposed to be. That's what I'm thinking.
Box TV. Other times it's a flat layer of sand that Patrick manages to squish under. Then we get a complete flat under here. At the start of I'm With Stupid, Patrick is seen brushing and tending to his home. It's a bit deeper than expected, but just has sand furniture. Stuff like a cabinet, chair, and fishbowl. As the episode progresses, Pat designs an entire living room with decor as well as a kitchen, complete with sand fridge. And then at the end when...
This is my canon. It first started off as it was just completely flat underneath there. And then as time went on, he basically... He renovated. He made it better. He expanded upon what he already had. You know what I'm saying? He started digging deeper, started adding the sand furniture, the living room, the different rooms, and maybe he just expanded as the seasons went on. I'm gonna give that, that's my canon.
Janet and Marty leave, it's back to being flat. And oh, Neptune, don't even get me started on the donut of shame. Patrick wakes up, hungover from a fantastic party, only to wind up feeling guilty for eating and then regurgitating said donut. Most of the furniture is sand, but now electricity works? He can use a phone to call SpongeBob, and even has light through a lamp. So does this mean there's an underground power line in Bikini Bottom? I can't remember any power poles in any episodes off the top of my head. At least one's near Pat's house. And now the TV works, complete with color? And then other episodes we're back to the barren pit. And for my last example, I wanted to bring up Rise and Shine.
He has a downstairs.
Apparently has multiple floors now. He has an entire pantry and again the working TV. My question, how does he get a signal underneath the rock? And since when has Patrick had a grill? To cap off the housing, we have the winner of House Fancy Prince himself, Squidward Tentpole.
And why the hell would you need a backyard for?
Patrick had a grill! To cap off the housing, we have the winner of House Fancy Prince himself, Squidward Tentpoles. An Easter Island head fitted with culture and style. We've seen his backyard.
I'm the least familiar with Squidward's crib though, because, you know, I think they've shown it the least compared to all three. I think they might have shown it the most though, because the only episode that I really do remember it like really revolving around his house was when, like, you know, it got into that gigantic robot type shit and it started to destroy the town, and then it crushed them at the end, and then his head popped up out. That's the only thing that I remember. Yeah.
It's nothing special. He tried making a garden a few times, but didn't really work out. Let's go through the supposed floor plan. First floor, a kitchen, dining, and living room. Nothing crazy, some simple furniture, an oven, and a closet. And then we get the complete mystery. What is this hallway? Where does it lead to? In Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost, Sponge and Pat head back there to clean and find a storage closet. So then to the left of this room, we have the elevator, only featured in this episode. One scene later, we see Squidward enter this hallway from the main floor, so it seems to connect to the elevator and storage room junction, and presumably also a set of stairs. Second floor, we have the art gallery. You know this room, I know this room, full of the greatest pieces of pure culture ever put to oil, and I'm betting you forgot about the library. Yeah, Squidward has one, and it rarely shows up. Personally, I'm more a Frankenstein guy, Squidward, but hey.
Didn't SpongeBob have a library?
You do you.
Like, I'm pretty sure he also had a library. SpongeBob. Like, bro, you're a fry cook. Where you get the salary for this?
Hey, it's me writing the script about 3 hours later. There was a comic strip titled House of Squidward that apparently featured a switch in his backyard that would activate it, kind of like a mech, similar to Good Neighbors. I searched everything. Library Genesis, Reddit post from 6 years ago, and I can't find this. If any classic comic holders happen to have a November 2007 issue of a Nickelodeon comic, please let me know, or just something, because I've wasted too much time researching this instead of writing the script. Thanks. Alright, hey, it's me writing the script again, but now about a month later. I found the comic strip! It's pretty much just what you would expect. Besides the art gallery, we have Squid's bedroom and bathroom. Nothing special, except for this one instance in the original Plankton episode.
SpongeBob, what are you doing? I'm talking to you! SpongeBob, SpongeBob, are you mad?
Are you mad?
Shut your mouth, you mediocre clarinet player. Mediocre?
Mediocre?
It's on the first level? Population-wise, Bikini Bottom is a really weird town. They don't seem to have a general census, just a guesstimate of the population. In whatever happened to SpongeBob, Bikini Bottom is given the population count of 538, soon to be 537. This does not seem possible. Look at the level of infrastructure. Buses run, airports fly planes, and they have radio stations in an entire monument of the town. It just seems way too developed for a small town. And speaking of, is Bikini Bottom even a town? Is it a city? A city-state? A town ruled by a king? Then how do other cities work? New Kelp City is clearly bigger.
Pretty sure it's a town. Different from a neighborhood. You can classify it as, yeah, city. Call it a city. Bikini Bottom, it's a city. It's a city. It's a city. It's a city.
With much more compact and urban developments. Ditto for the unnamed city and pizza delivery. Rock Bottom I can understand. It's a bit of a unique destination if you're too developed for a small town. And speaking of, is Bikini Bottom even a town? Is it a city? A city-state? A town ruled by a king? Then how do other cities work? New Kelp City is clearly bigger with much more compact and urban developments. Ditto for the unnamed city and pizza delivery. Rock Bottom I can understand. It's a bit of a unique destination if you want to call it that. But what about Ukulele Bottom? Mention a singular time and I Was a Teenage Gary, which apparently holds jellyfish conventions, which leads me to assume this is where I'm Your Biggest Fanatic takes place, except SpongeBob and Kevin go to Jellyfish Fields. So is SpongeBob just a big enough jellyfishing fan that he'd go to multiple? Probably, yeah. Oh my Neptune, I just checked the wiki and found out Ukulele Bottom is actually featured in the Patrick Star Show. Apparently Ian Vasquez, one of the crew members for the episode,
Really?
gave a description comparing it to being a suburban area under Bikini Bottom. He likened it to Burbank and Los Angeles in California. What about Atlantic City? Everywhere outside just seems to be a destitute wasteland, and I guess I'd consider Tentacle Acres similar to Ukulele Bottom, just being a neighborhood or a suburb in the town itself. It's not called Squidville, for the love of God.
Not called Squidville.
There's also Dolesville, which
Okay, but Squidville does sound funny. Like, you know, in context.
really only shows up in Plankton Retires. This is the last city, I promise, but what about Jetsam City? Besides looking absolutely awesome in this art, seriously guys,
Does
our
look
SpongeBob
fire.
backgrounds are insane. Like, look at this detail, look at the resolution. Holy fish paste. This place is way more urban than Bikini Bottom, I'd say. Guess what? I lied. We're going back to building layouts. Yippee! The Krusty Krab is a monster. Leftmost door connects to Mr. Krabs' office, second from the right is the entrance to the kitchen, and farmost right is the bathrooms, right? No. Sometimes it's a storage room, like in Imitation Krabs, or other times it's connected to the kitchen itself, which is also connected to a freezer that shows up a few times, like SB129 or Truth or Square. There's also a hidden break room crammed between the two doors. The kitchen shows up a few times, like SB129 or Truth or Square. There's also a hidden break room crammed between the two doors. The kitchen is interconnected to Krabs' office, but also has a back door, which leads to the dumpster area.
So how do you know it in type of the script? Graveyard shift includes at the front of the Krusty Krab. Really? I didn't peep that.
So then this means that there's like a garbage truck or something that comes by to pick up the garbage, because, you know, you'd have to put like the trash out of the front. That's how most places do it. But then also in Sailor Mouth, there's like a guy who comes by and he picks the trash up manually and doesn't have a truck, even though we've also seen like dump trucks and like garbage trucks throughout the entire series. Guys, I'm so lost. I'm going off script. I just remembered this. And then you have this sick storage area near the top above Squidward that just never gets used. I'd love to have a peek up there, but we also have a
Never
drive-thru
gets used.
and have had one forever, it seems. It first appeared in Pizza Delivery, but never really got any attention until the name of the episode of the same name. Who runs it? Squidward? What is the deal with Gary's shell? I think it's a similar Patrick situation again, where it can really just be anything, kind of like a pocket dimension if you want.
Gary Shell, I was literally about to call it that. It's its own pocket universe, literally.
In Karate Island, we see SpongeBob explore around and find a bunch of old stuff like shirts, or in Pineapple Invasion, he has stuff like a magic 8-ball and a clarinet. That's all I had for this topic. I kind of ran out of ideas at this point. Is the Krusty Krab to the right or left of Conch Street? It constantly changes and flips. Wait, Krabs a la mode shows to the right, SpongeBob's left, and other episodes like Can You Spare a Dime concur with this. But Help Wanted shows it's to the left, SpongeBob's right, from the very start. Bummer Vacation muddies the waters even further with the Krusty Krab apparently now being a straight shot. But what about the Chum Bucket? Does this episode canonically take place before it was built? Am I reading too far into a kid's cartoon? Then in the same episode, like 4 minutes later, the straight shot has switched to a junction again with no Chum Bucket. Then even later, Krabs takes SpongeBob away from the Krusty Krab, driving to stage left. What kind of cosmic plaything, eldritch abomination, horror location is Bikini Bottom? I'm losing sleep over this. And then probably one of the most questioned elements, who the absolute barnacle rules Bikini?
Hold on. Remember where he did fire him from, the Krusty Krab, and like he drove him away from the spot to go, like, you know, drop him off in like the the middle of the wilderness, that forest, that kelp forest spot that he left him at? Did you classify that as another location, or is he was he just talking about cities? I know, random thought.
Bottom. First answer is obviously King Neptune. You know, the guy who rules the ocean, has a Poseidon named after him. Wait, Poseidon? Oh, Neptune. His kid, who featured in a very okay at best special, is named Triton, who gets his name from the sea god of the same name. Yada yada yada, you've probably heard this before. But Mindy gets no explanation from me. And yeah, there was the first movie blacklisting the characters from showing up in the main series for a while, but how is she related? Is she actually just his daughter?
Hey, it's me, your skin.
Hey, don't give a fuck.
Did Triton die or something and have a second kid break apart Neptune and this lady's marriage? And because of the immense stress, he went bald. Oh, my Neptune and / or Poseidon, guys, I've become a SpongeBob theory YouTuber by accident. This one is less of an inconsistency and more just a general question. Is SB129 a stable time loop? Squid wants to avoid jellyfishing with Sponge and Pat, so he hides in the Krusty Krab freezer, only to wind up in the chrome-laced future. He uses a time machine, meets up with these two intellectuals, and teaches them how to jellyfish. When Squid returns to his home time period, he learns he is the father of jellyfishing. Surely this would have other side effects, right? And speaking of time travel and side effects, what about the entire episode dedicated to it? Back to the Past has the main crew heading back in time and changing stuff. And hey, wait, there's another Bikini Bottom population sign! This one can't be far back. Maybe only like 40 to 60-ish years at most. No, I can't afford another tangent. The crew accidentally screws up and messes up a tartar saucy plan and returns home to find the town of literally 1984. Then they go back in time and the episode kind of just starts to compound on itself more and more. What even happened in Dunces and Dragons? That episode also had time travel, but Sponge and Pat didn't even use a time machine. Is this what happened with Season 3's Ugg or 13's Dopey Dick? Can I ragdoll myself into the past? And still speaking
Dopey
of the Krusty
Dick,
Krab,
that is
how
hilarious.
about that menu? I
Funny
feel like
title.
it changes so often. Jelly patties, hot dogs, coral bits, number ones, a double triple bossy deluxe on a raft 4x4 animal style, extra shingles with a shimmy and a squeeze, light axle grease, make it cry, burn it and let it swim, Diet Dr. Kelp, and one time even a salad bar. Oh my god, I did that on the first take. Oh my god. Or I guess 2 times if we count Bossy Foods and, you know, the whole cuddly crab stuff. Again, we still just have Krusty Krab pizzas, a Dalton Pipsqueak
Krusty
sized
Krab
patties,
pizza?
milkshakes, a triple Krabby Supreme with kelp bun, or a double batter fried patty on a stick with mayo. But like your makeshift product is just the Krabby Patty. How many like different variations of other things do you need to get? Like milkshakes. Who gets milkshakes? There's a lot of
Me? Like, what the fuck? Like that? Like, hey, don't hate on milkshakes, buddy.
inconsistencies in the show. I just wanted to point out some of the ones that haven't left my brain since like 2008. So
I'm also kind of curious. What other stuff do you be looking like? You know, what other stuff is on your channel? Your SpongeBob type channel. Oh yeah. I remember watching this. I was not gonna react to it though. The SpongeBob theory. Huh. Oh shit. Hold on. I'll add it on. I'm
Sun
kind of
chips?
curious.
I forgot how good.
I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of sort of curious. You can save that for another day. That's his first video.
On YouTube recently, besides this like one awesome guy that I know, you've probably seen a video with this style of thumbnail. For some reason, SpongeBob theories are incredibly popular. Well, why? I don't really understand the surge of these videos, so I thought it'd be fun to look into the rise of these and what they achieve. It also helps that these videos happen to get insane levels of views, so hopefully I can skim some money off this bandwagon before it dies down.
Oh shoot. Hopefully I can do the same.
This is a scary time. Basically, SpongeBob theories during this time were mainly relegated to generic ideas. You have the classic 7 deadly sins theory alongside other ideas, like the drugs theory, World War II theory, and more. These types are a lot more loose and can really be applied to any kind of media. More specifically, you get the usual SpongeBob suspects, like those relating to the Krabby Patty secret formula of it being crab meat, vegan plant-based, or no ingredient at all, or the chum bucket supposedly using other fish. I think it's important to note as we progress, the theories surrounding the show rise and fall with SpongeBob's popularity. Right now, it's kind of the honeymoon phase. Other theories rise, such as the ever-popular Bikini Bottom nuclear bomb testing theory and more. I named this chapter after the Watch Mojo.
I fully believe that though, that the Bikini Bottom is actually just like, you know, mutated fish from a nuclear bomb. That is amazing because it's the craziest one, so I'm gonna believe that one. That's my canon.
Channel, and regardless of your opinion on them, I think their videos exemplify this time period the best. Now, it is important to note, some of the theories I'm selecting are from far, far later than the 2000s. I think they just exemplify the generality I'm aiming for. Basically, the theories are all really surface depth. Watch Mojo also didn't do anything, I just thought the alliteration of Watch Mojo War was funny. Before YouTube and social media became the juggernaut they are today, there weren't many major communities for the show. But Google Trends says that the term SpongeBob theory went crazy in 2012. What happened?
Ah, the
Well.
creepypastas. I used to remember seeing these everywhere, bro. Everywhere. Like, dude, they loved making SpongeBob. No, they loved SpongeBob. They loved making Squidward a goddamn suicide survivor. Like, bro, I'm telling you.
Oh, it's a bit hard to find an exact time, but somewhere around 2012, the infamous Red Mist creepypasta took the world by storm. Helped with the tidal wave of other theories, such as Ben drowned, people ate this stuff up. I did not, as the image of a bloodied Squidward genuinely terrified me as a kid. I might have had nightmares, cut me some slack, but after this, things mellow out for a bit. Then we hit the dark ages of the show.
It didn't creep me
varies
out, but
between
I just
people,
thought that
but
it looked
generally
weird.
includes season 6 through 8, or the first half of season 9. Instead of theories or creepypastas, now the main SpongeBob content was criticizing the show. Reviewers like the mysterious Mr. Enter hit their heyday here, and were often ruthless. The main online community of the show was now just dedicated to trashing it, sadly. Now we find ourselves in June of 2020, still doing the same old, same old. I surely hope no massive bombshell drops that completely dominates the YouTube scene for a while. Oh my. Okay, hear me out. While it isn't
Oh my.
SpongeBob, I think
Icebergs.
Mishpaz's Super Mario 64 Iceberg deserves a lot of love and notice here. This great video fathered an entire set of video style, and would indirectly lead to SpongeBob stuff getting covered, namely with Cadency's Iceberg from around 2-ish years ago. Also, Cadency, if you see this, I saw you change the thumbnail. I know what you did. More icebergs
you
would
changed
also
the
get
thumbnail.
made, especially by this like one idiot who can't seem to get decent mic quality and doesn't know how to actually EQ properly. Icebergs led to more interest in the production of the show, and led people to searching for supposed
What the hell does EQ stand for? Can somebody tell me? Down in the comments.
lost media. Ideas such as cut scenes, like Squidward's snail transformation or Gary getting milked. It doesn't sound any better in context, by the way. More community is formed, but it's still relatively small in scope. There's a huge audience for SpongeBob, but less so to actually talk about it. Before we move on to the modern period, quote-unquote, I have to reference skin theory. Doug Woolever releases one video
I think we have that on the list. I think we actually have that on the list. That exact video. Tuh, that's crazy. We have that exact video. Skin theory. I guess I watch it on my own because that is a whole hour long. And I don't think it's that important. I don't think it's that serious that we have to react to it. Like, come on now. There's plenty of other content to get to.
in 2019, an hour and 11 minutes of the most insane, unhinged theory ever. 9.8 million views. This is just a fever dream. He makes such a unique argument and backs it up and never uploads again. His comment reveals that this was just for fun and spent between 100 to 200 hours to make this project. No monetary concern or anything. This definitely helped to grow the future branches of SpongeBob theories and really kind of stretch the boundaries of what a SpongeBob theory could be. You know, it used to be basically limiting to interesting trivia or cut dialogue or scenes, but here, Doug pioneered something that we'll see very soon. a narrative. The video, besides being bigger in scope than the other theories before it, has more of a progression to it. It felt way more structured, and the idea of characters wearing skin was so insane that this let the idea of what could be in a theory become way, way, way looser. Sure, SpongeBob very likely didn't have nihilistic tones to it, but if Doug can make a video on skin in SpongeBob, who's to say you can't explore your idea further? It also helps to show that Doug didn't do anything after this. He really came in here, dropped the elixir of modern-day SpongeBob theories, and just left. What a man.
Crazy. Legend.
I
am afraid you are forbidden from boarding without.
Ah, yeah.
2020, year of the pandemic. Everyone is stuck at home, bored, out of their minds. Enter Karsten Rundquist. October 10th, he drops the video, How SpongeBob Explored Existential Nihilism, a fantastic video covering SB129 and the possible interpretations of it. Only a mere 9 minutes, yet at the time of writing over 6.2 million views. This skyrockets SpongeBob theory stuff back into relevancy. It never left exactly, but now there is a good vantage point for
Another guys. Now I should have referenced. I might check these
discussions
out
on
on
the
my own
show.
time. Why not? I might be bullshitting.
Note, Karsten did also have another insanely popular SpongeBob video just a few months earlier, but it was only just a pathetic 3.4 million views. You know, nothing to scoff at. I mean, come on, dude. Anybody can reach that. This one focused on Squidville, and it still did very well. I just selected the other one because it is the poster boy for this style of video. As much as I would love to just blab on about these videos because I honestly love them, I've got a schedule to maintain. Yeah, about that. The third SpongeBob movie also released in 2020, to polarizing reviews to say the least. This spawned more talking points and also brought upon Camp Coral. Now, I'm of the belief that continuity doesn't really matter for SpongeBob, but Camp Coral made a lot of people not happy. You can find a good bunch of videos criticizing it, especially for the odd cameos and shoehorned idea of the camp itself. Secret to the Formula is still a fantastic song. I will die on this hill. Whew, man, 2020 was loaded, huh? Karsten Rundquist helped to facilitate more attention as well as more of the audience growing nostalgic for their childhood show. There's a lot more content and ideas now talking about that nostalgia, but I'm going to save that for a different video. Well, at least we can now finally get our deserved moment of calm.
Oh my god, it's
Now,
Alex
Karsten
Bale.
Rundquist skyrocketed discussions of SpongeBob and possible theories. Alex Bale broke the sound barrier for it. Mere months after the incredible SB129 video, Alex Bale drops the nuclear blast of his Squidward theory. Instead of focusing on a philosophy or a narrative in the show, Alex constructs a solid base and explores a possible narrative. Now, how does that really differ from any other theory? Simple. One word. Presentation. Being a great small film creator, Alex had a style and understanding of what he thinks looks cool. The editing, voiceover, general quality, and more allowed his Squidward theory to dominate everything. With this massive hit, what does Alex Bale do? He starts to make more theories, explore even wilder concepts, and hit higher highs. And after 8 incredible videos, what does he do? He knows when to fold his cards and lets the theories rest. I'm not sure how much I can really
Very smart to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? Stop while you at its peak. Keep people desiring for more.
cover without just doing a full exploration of the videos, which might be in the works, whoever knows. I think they are all great, and I'm really happy with how many talking points got made from these. And I would have to be insane to not talk about the underlying aspects of these theories. Alex Bale makes a lot of horror and small films relating to it. Let's say you're Alex Bale right now. Stay with me. You have fun making great stuff, and eventually see your funny Squidward dating Squilliam video wins the lottery, and now you are a household name. You probably don't want to just be known as the SpongeBob guy for your life, because that's my thing. So what do? You combine both elements of your channel. Throughout the theories, we see an extra layer of a narrative of nearly cosmic horror. But what I like best about them is actually the interpretation of it being a meta-narrative. Alex Bale directly references his theories. The ones that generate a ton of views are given via an eldritch being. It makes it more fun trying to tell if the videos are made for the theory, or are made to support the story of the muse. I know I'm not covering everything here, I just really like them. Take his Mrs. Puff theory for instance. He establishes an interesting question, follows up with evidence, and shows a progression to clearly highlight his theory. The video ramps up. It's not a SpongeBob is evil, here's 3 pieces of evidence type of video, it's a natural progression of the formula. I think another important aspect is the stylization. I mentioned presentation earlier, but I want to elaborate more on that. This video has good edits. The pacing is especially strong. Neville. The guy from my
Neville.
The pacing is especially strong, and you never feel bored watching it. Alex uses a fantastic mix of visuals and audio. It is a fun video to watch, and I think it establishes a really good atmosphere. It helps that he uses some of the background tracks from the show, and I have sympathy for him because I also tried this on my Atlantis SquarePants video earlier, and that's why like a minute in, I had to mute an entire segment of the voiceover. Sorry, I'm still a bit bitter at that. It's just an interesting concept executed very well. I don't believe in any kind of SpongeBob continuity, as I said.
Mediocre.
I found the points Alex Bale made to be really good and interesting. He got the science of a SpongeBob theory down well, and I haven't even really scratched the actual ARG here he has.
I never understood why, with certain fish designs for SpongeBob, why did some of them have hair?
Alright, you have the necessary context to fully grasp the deep intricacies of the SpongeBob theory world. But I want to ask you, why? Why do people make theories on SpongeBob? Or just in general? What makes them so appealing and so profitable? I find that the theories are used as a stepping stone just to talk about the show and why people love it. SpongeBob is the modern day Simpsons for this current generation. Kids don't want SpongeBob.
Oh, definitely.
They watch YouTube, and that's fine. But what about those early 2000s kids? It's nostalgic, and it helps that the original seasons have such a legendary quality to them. Cable is thankfully dying, so
I mean, would you really say that SpongeBob is like the next generation? Is that a good comparison?
SpongeBob really has to be carried on by the fans, and so of course people are going to want to talk about it. For example, look at all the various icebergs or SpongeBob criticism and commentaries. People like talking about the sponge, and in my opinion, it also has more depth than people give it credit for. SpongeBob theories, to me, serve as a beacon or a hub for others. Take stuff like fan art, or previously mentioned creepypastas, or even lost media hunts. This kind of stuff generates attention and a lot of entertainment, and that's what the theories are all about by the end, at least to me. Yeah, it's cool to notice these details, analyze the philosophy of the show, but I find in the end, it comes down to being entertaining. It's about the spectacle and the viewer connection. Does it truly matter if Patrick is secretly a genius? Probably not, but will we ever find out the secret formula? Also probably no, but it's fun to see different styles of thinking and the lengths people will go to explore a story about a swear sponge under the sea who works as a fry cook. Like, we have such awesome concepts such as analyzing the tropes and potential story beats of the show, emotions, entire videos dedicated on the music, namely how some tracks are unnerving, talking about you credits theme, and super minor character traits. The one common line through every example I've brought up in the entire video is that they are all fun and entertaining. What, you're gonna tell me skin theory isn't hilarious? And that's the answer. Researching and watching theories for this video, I guess I was expecting something with more depth. It feels casual and a bit surface level just to say that they're fun, but I honestly do think that's the underlying element. I'd love to hear your guys' take on this.
They fun
What do you look
videos.
for in a theory? It doesn't even have to be related to SpongeBob.
Fun, interesting, and thought-provoking. So yeah, WVid, W channel. You just gotta subscribe. Next. Oh yeah, bye YouTube.